Hello, welcome to CLSP Politics. Sean Briscoe speaking. This is one of my polling videos. All of you guys like that. I'm just going to update everybody real quick, though. I'd like to give you how's it going in Wisconsin. Well, going really good. We're expanding our field program. We're knocking on a lot of doors. There's everything's going up. I like it when my graphs do this. I don't like it when my graphs do that. So they're all doing this. That's good. We're expanding our doors per day every day, and I'm working with some really amazing people, just top notch, real professionals. Very happy to be working with just the quality of staff here in Wisconsin. It's pretty amazing. They've done a lot of work here in Wisconsin, really over the last 13 years. They've been they got their redistricting, right? They took one of their state Supreme Court seats, which allowed them to get the laws passed to stop all the gerrymandering. And they were gerrymandered to hell. So this is really the first presidential cycle, plus with Roe, that these state house, state senate, other seats are actually winnable. And quite honestly, they're going to win seats they shouldn't win here in Wisconsin, which I'm all about. You take a W when you can get it. The trick will be holding on to those seats. So that'll be for another political cycle, not this one. But yeah, no, great. Everything's going great here in Wisconsin. That's my update for that. Real quick, make sure you like and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to support this channel, we have an account on PayPal at CLSP Politics. First poll, let's get to it. I'm going to blow this up. There we are. I want to talk about North Carolina. Everyone's talking about it. Trump is technically half a point ahead in North Carolina. It's plus or minus 2%. Plus, quite honestly, and these are the poll of polls. This is all the polls for North Carolina kind of weighted and put together. What can I say about that? It's North Carolina. So, for one thing, they're sampling mostly likely voters. And with the number of registrations that have happened over the last year, really since Roe was overturned, women have been registering to vote en masse. So I feel like that's going to be, this is not as close as it looks. I think Harris is ahead. I don't think by much, but I think she's ahead. And I think the women, and honestly, the millennial vote, and we talk about that in my, swing vote videos, that demographic bulge, it's real, and I think we're going to see that universe turn out in kind of a big way. Georgia, also, we're about a point behind, just under a point behind in Georgia. Another state where I think the polls seem to be weighted a little weird. If you recall, in 2020, they were talking about Georgia on election night. They were pointing at all these northern counties that weren't producing the number of votes that they thought they would, right? It's all these rural counties that honestly have to produce at 101% in order for Georgia to be red. And quite frankly, those are seats those are counties that just don't have the population they used to. So there's a whole lot of that going on. So between COVID and just normal population migration out of rural areas into urban suburban, I think those counties just aren't going to produce the votes the Republicans think, and I think that's gonna push Georgia to be blue. Ohio Senate race, really interesting. Harris isn't doing very well in Ohio, but Brown seems to be doing great. It's nothing. Neither of these candidates are over 50%, but with the 2.5 point margin advantage for the Democrat, this is a good one. I think Ohio is going to surprise people on election night, and I look forward to being one of those people. Nebraska. Well, I wouldn't write Nebraska off quite yet. this is the Senate race in Nebraska. The Republicans ahead by about 3 points in the poll of polls. But I think it's going to be way closer than that. And Nebraska's really weird demographically. They've got the millennial bulge, and we just got to see if those young voters turn out. And if they do, Nebraska will be blue. I know we're all curious about the presidential race. So Harris is almost 3 points ahead. Trump is still stuck under 46. If you notice, he's kind of flattened out at 45, 46%. He can't go any higher. Now, Kamala has the potential to go higher. Her ceiling isn't as fortified in just Trump is such a bad candidate that he's just not he's not going to get over that. Now the problem is because of the Electoral College and the fact that the Republicans honestly don't have to get as many votes as we do to win, because this ain't fair. We're kind of in a spot where the Democrats kind of have to win by a little over 3% in order to win the election. Doesn't sound right, but if you look at the Electoral College, that's kind of how it breaks down. So that's kind of where that is. So yay, Kamala's ahead. That's the takeaway. Very excited about that. So I was looking at Congress for a minute, and I found a poll of polls for Congress, which I found kind of interesting. The money says there's a 2.5%. So the polls are indicating that Congress will be controlled by the Democrats. And you got to understand, if you remember Obama's administration, the Democrat who gets into office, when Kamala gets in, and I truly do believe she's going to get in, she's got to do everything she wants to do. And she's got to do it in the first 18 months, or it's not going to get done. So if we get Congress, that's the House and the Senate, she's got to, the Voting Rights Act, codify Roe, all the things, the housing, keeping corporations from, price gouging, every policy she talks about out there, she's going to have to do in 18 months. It's how Obama got a healthcare bill passed. And technically, the Senate was 50-50. I don't remember if anyone remembers McCain. Between Obama and McCain, those two gentlemen made the ACA a thing. Well, he had to do it in the first 4 years of his administration. He did most of the heavy lifting in the first 2 because he knew he had Congress. But then after that, he didn't have Congress anymore. And the House for sure. And so you kind of got to get it all done. It's a huge lift trying to get what will eventually probably be 70, even 80% of your accomplishments in your administration knocked out in 18 months is a big, big pull. But there you go. That's the Electoral College for you. So I also got this poll, which I found kind of interesting, kind of just gives you perspective over the last week. Change from last week. So the margin nationally, as we saw earlier, is around 3%. Pennsylvania has actually gone up almost 0.5% for Democrats. Wisconsin's gone up 0.5% for Democrats in the last week. I'm not taking all the credit for that. I take like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of that credit. Not really. Go Wisconsin. Michigan is up just barely. But then you got North Carolina that's gone, down a little bit. But still, it's still 50-50. It's a 0.2 change. It's 1/5 of 1%. That's where we're at. Georgia's flat. Nothing's really changed. They're still around, the Republicans aren't even 1 point ahead in Georgia, which means it's well within the the range, it's a 50-50 again. Arizona, I don't know what's going on in Arizona, but it's half a point towards the Republicans. I've gone and looked at some of the Arizona polling. It looks pretty sound. So, yeah, there's something there. Florida is Florida. I don't know, man. But, oh, by the way, that hurricane did not help. I've actually done field programs in a hurricane in Florida back in 22. If any of you guys remember, Ian kind of went right up the middle. So, man, those guys aren't going to be able to really knock on any doors for about a week, maybe a week and a half. So almost, 20-30% of what's left of time to canvas. It's brutal. And I worked with a great team in Florida. We actually got nailed by Ian. We had canvassers that didn't have homes anymore, and we went from just pounding through turf, tens of thousands of doors a day, and then it just went to zero, and it stayed at zero forever. And we weren't able. I mean, we weren't able to do it. If you got, the roads were blocked, there was flooding. I mean, hurricanes during election season, hurricanes anytime is a pain in the butt. During election season, because you're on that timer, it's rough. And I will not lie. I am extremely happy to be this far inland running field programs this cycle and not on the coast, because it's just, man, you work for months building and finding canvassers and getting your logistics together, and then it just, big old hurricane comes, so it's brutal. Real quick, I got one last state. Nevada, looking good. Nevada, you went up almost half a point for the Democrats. Good job, Nevada. It's a union. It's a lot of union in Nevada. So I feel like probably a good bet that one's going to go. So all in all, you got 4 that are red, 4 that are blue. We knew this race was going to be tight, so it is living up to its reputation. Real quick, if you haven't registered to vote yet, you still have time in a lot of states. Crazily, like Pennsylvania's already started voting. There are mail ballots already going out in a lot of states. So stuff's going down. The election has started, which is very exciting. But just make sure you get out here. I'll blow this up real quick. I also put this on the community page. So anyone who wants to, go and look, you can. But you can go to vote. There's a lot of, you go to your elections website in your state, and it'll have all the information you need. Please vote. So just want to say thank you for watching. I plan to do some shows in the future from the field here in Wisconsin, so that'll be kind of exciting. Talk about canvassing and strategies and just the stuff that we talk about when we're out canvassing. So that'll be fun. But make sure you check your voter status, like and subscribe. We're growing as a channel, which is great. If you wish to support this channel and all the travels and all this craziness, we have a PayPal at CLSB Politics. So, hey, all my friends in North Carolina and Georgia and Florida, and all the places there just really struggling. Our thoughts are with you. And I personally have lived through 13 typhoons, and a hurricane, technically. So I got nothing but sympathy and understanding. All right. Well, hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.